Okay, back. Separate video. We're finishing up Sailor Moon manga review with the Stars arc. So this is the first part. You have a nice chibi moon cover and a chibi moon. Oh, that's a mouthful. First you get the cover again in there, but I'm just gonna skip it. Some really nice color pages. This is very oddly blue. Why? I don't know. I guess, maybe it's what's in her heart is what it's saying. We have a beautiful colored picture of our main villain, Galaxia, and Eternal Sailor Moon. Absolutely gorgeous. So, manga-wise, she's totally the best villain. Actually, she was the best villain even in the original anime as well. So we get up to stars 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in this volume. And we've picked up, so it starts off with the exact same pages from the end of the previous volume. I find that a little bit annoying, just because paper more than I wouldn't mind so much, but so one thing is I noticed Galaxia is called when Usagi and Mamoru's power, Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask's power, is fully awakened and they've both become king and queen. And that's why she's called. She can see the light from where she is in the galaxy or the universe. Which is interesting that that's how powerful they are together. Like, keep that in mind. Like, they're that powerful together that you can see them from the far reaches of the universe or the galaxy. Okay. But that is amazing. Of course, we're struck with tragedy very, very early on. Look at... I can't believe Naoko did this. I was so surprised that she offed Tuxedo Mask first. It's like, oh my goodness. Very, very tragic because it affects Usagi throughout the rest of the manga. She firmly thinks that he has traveled to America like he was originally going to do, but the trauma of losing him has caused her to pretend that he's there and think she's getting cards and everything from him when in reality, actually maybe it wasn't her, maybe it was Sailor Starfighter, potentially, that maybe is the one that makes her think that. I think it's her though more. She kind of gets very distant eyes when she starts talking about him, so it's like maybe deep down she knows he's gone, but doesn't want to truly, fully admit it. And they're all in high school still. But what's really weird is you had Michiru and Haruka return to high school. They just raised a baby, but they're going back to high school. Where is this? Here we are. And it's interesting that she's actually wearing the girls' uniform, too. You'd think she'd wear the boys' uniform. I think she does in the 90s, but again, one of the big differences with her character is she displays both feminine and masculine qualities, which is amazing. She's like the first character to do that, I feel like, right? So she was like this breakthrough, and so, but anyways, I just think it's funny that she's not happy about it. Look at her face. She's just like, really? Michiru's all happy. He's like, we're going back to high school and I love it. And you're just like, but why? You just raised a baby. And then I think it's the one Sailor Guardian who is the adult Sailor Pluto, Setsuna. She's the school nurse at Chibiusa's elementary, which is super, super cute because that makes a lot of sense. She can watch her daughter, Hotaru, and take good care of small lady as well. Very fitting role. I feel like she's very motherly, Setsuna. So is Haruka and Michiru as well, but they got stuck going back to high school. That's messed up, though. Can you imagine if you were in their shoes? You've already finished that, and you raised a kid. Guess what? You're going back to high school. I think that it's also really funny, but I love how she's really into it, though. And of course, their school gets the latest pop idols, the Starlights. Here we are. A really nice picture of them right there with everyone else. Of course, they also dress like Haruka. Excuse me, again, I'm sorry. But can you see, like, I don't know if that's why she's wearing this, just to keep her a little different from them, maybe? Although, again, she does wear very feminine clothes, too, anyways. She wears both. They are exclusively wearing masculine clothes when you see them in their civilian forms. You don't see them ever do both. And that's really fascinating, I feel like. I know in the anime, you had them actually be male, which didn't make Naoko very happy again, but I'm debating on this myself right here. I get where she's coming from, because she's the creator and she created these rules. However, she kind of messed up because there's no guardian for Earth. But technically it's Tuxedo Mask, who's a man, so she's already broken her rules, so I feel like it's okay that in the anime they were both male and female. Like they were literally male when they were in their civilian form, then they become women. But again, this is still like huge though, right? Just gonna say, even in the manga, just because they're clearly, would the term be non-binary? I don't know. Just because they're both, like, in this way. Sorry. Yep, they really only wear men's clothes all the time until they become Sailor Guardians. And they wear in, like, really feminine outfits. Well, here we go. Here's the scene with... There she is wearing... This is Haruka. She's wearing clearly, like, very masculine clothes right there. Oh, wait. Maybe not. Oh, that's not her. My bad. Oops. Made a mistake. Sorry. I thought that was her for a second. It's actually one of Mamoru's friends. Oh, it's the one guy. I totally spaced about him. He was in a couple of the previous arcs. He was that kid that really, like, admired Mamoru. My bad. Oops. Sorry. Yeah. Really big deal right there. Not that she's, but the fact that there was, like, the inkling of romance. Usagi didn't recuperate it, or reciprocate it, sorry. Recuperate it, what am I meaning here? She didn't, blah, 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 blah. So, Seiya had feelings for Usagi. Seiya as, you know, this woman who obviously presents herself as a man to society, has feelings for our lead heroine. You know what I mean? Like that's a big deal. That's crazy. Like I mean, I kind of see why like this season wasn't ever brought over to the States and dubbed originally back in the 90s and early 2000s. Just going to say, but that's huge. They really were big characters if you think about these Starlines. Like, even in the manga, yeah, they're not men who become women, but they were still big, like, even in their form in the manga, because they were a voice for people who back then had no voice. They had no characters that were them, that people can identify with them. And now, like, in today's audience, we're getting more people who out there are like the Starlines, who like both versions of them, you know what I mean? And we're starting to realize how impactful these characters were, probably to these people who were just like, they looked at them and said, that's me, or they read it here, watched it, whatever. That's why they're such a big deal to me. Not to me, like, personally, but they're a big deal because they mattered. You know what I mean? But, oh, this whole arc is so tragic because you get the death of each sailor, Senchi. Oh, sorry. And it's just so, each one hits you in the gut, man. And I'm just like, but why, Naoko? Why? I know she, like, really, really wanted to, like, kill them all off originally back during, like, the Dark Moon, or Dark Kingdom arc, excuse me. And now she's, like, I guess finally doing it. She's like, yes, I get to do it. It's the final chapter of Sailor Moon. I can do it. Although, she does technically bring them all back. And of course, we're introduced to the little tiny character, Chibi Chibi, who is able to transform into a Sailor Guardian. They all think, they have no clue who she is, because apparently you can only have one child in the line of the Moon Kingdom. How that works, I don't know. I guess because they live so long, they don't need to have as many kids. But these two girls right there, awesome. This is a great scene. Just gonna throw that. I have to shout out this scene really fast because I'm looking at it right now. So you have, of course, Minako. That's right. I've long had someone, my one and only, to whom I would devoted my life. And you see Usagi right there. And Mars goes, yeah, that's why we have no need of menfolk. You have a problem with that? Yeah, girls. You tell them. You tell them you don't need no men. I think it's interesting that Mamoru is the major male character in this. It's very, very, like, I know some people, like, ship these two together, but, which is cool. I think that's cool. It makes a lot of sense, though, if Venus, she's the goddess of love, and in Greek mythology, they didn't limit themselves, so it makes sense if Sailor Venus was kind of similar to the goddess Venus, although I think she calls herself that in the manga, particularly in her manga, sorry. And apparently, much like apparently like Luna Anonymous And Diana raised crows. Yeah, crows, right? Are they ravens? Oh shoot, I don't remember what they are. Oh, darn it. They're a bird. They can become people. See? Which is really cool. I'm trying to remember if they were in the 90s anime. I don't remember. Were they? You know, she had some birds, like, sometimes, I think. They just weren't the big characters that they are here, which is, I like the fact that Ray's got these cool birds, you know, contrast her to Usagi and Minako, who have cats, you know. I like the fact that she's got some animals. That's awesome. And of course you remember, like, they were all like, it's so weird, she's got these birds hanging out with her. But, and it also makes sense for them to transform and be human as well. And of course we have to have a scene in the future, because unlike Dragon Ball Z, for example, right? In Dragon Ball Z you had Future Trunks. He comes from the future, tells Goku, oh, the androids are coming, gives Goku the medicine. But that action right there didn't change his timeline, whereas here, in this one, it's the complete opposite. What is going on in the past is affecting the timeline of 30th century Tokyo that Chibiusa is from, and of course she has returned to it. Let me see if I can show you the picture where you see the effect. Sailor Moon. They're back. Princess is back. Here. Right there, can you tell? So you can see that there's an effect happening. Pluto's telling them something's going down in the past. And it's to be fixed. I really think that is an interesting distinction. And what's also really cool, check out the castles. Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. They have really cool design castles. Look at that. Isn't that really amazing? And all of them have a castle, which is, again, makes sense. But their castles are unique, I believe, because one, they're not directly on the planet, they're floating around it. And two, their castles have more power to them because they have to protect and guard not just Serenity, but the entire solar system from invaders. And we had Princess Kaguya. No, not Kaguya. What am I saying? Princess. What is her name? Give me a second. Ooh, I never noticed that. I have lyrics in here. What is your name? My friend. Your name. Mama. Oh no, Diana. Sorry guys. Kakuyu. Princess Kakuyu. Kakuyu. Get it. Kakuyu. Yeah, so she's beautifully designed princess. Just gonna throw that out there. I remember, much like Serenity can become a guardian, she's the same, which is really, really cool. And kind of, again, is building upon what Naoko has already created. I forgot her name, I can't believe that. In this look, you get lyrics to the song. I never would notice that. Because they're pop stars and they're singing to. I like that she included those in there. That's a nice touch. Is this the Search for Your Love song? I wonder. I'm gonna search for your love from the anime. I like the songs though. I think that's awesome. And we do get another character who's from the same planet that Luna, Artemis, and Diana come from, which is interesting because them and what are their names? Phobos and Deimos, the birds, are from another planet too that somehow ended up on the moon / Mars to be of service to the princess of Mars and the moon. How that happened, and Venus, technically. How that happened, I don't know. She didn't go into too much detail. I guess they were chosen. And then, of course, Diana was born, and then that whole thing. But poor little Diana, who's staying. It's interesting now, in the past, but if you attack them, you see how, like, she's got this little marker here on her moon. That means they can't talk anymore. But they look so much more in pain than just not being able to talk. Which is sad. Did you see? Where is that scene? Where is that scene? Diana, see how? No, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. You're saying Diana was born first? Oh, and Artemis too. I like how she's just like, of course we get Galaxia going, bam! She's just awesome. It's interesting to know that this villain could accomplish what none of the others could do. Just gonna throw that out there. And it took Sailor Moon to truly defeat them. Of course, she uses the bodies of those she's destroyed and taken their starseed as her little puppets, which is so sad. Because, like, it was just torture for poor Sailor Moon to watch her friends get misused like that. And then you do get Chibiusa coming back to help fight, because she's still existing somehow, even though, like I said, the past is affecting the future. So somehow either Neo Queen Serenity is keeping everything from going to chaos, because here's, look at, see how they're kind of woo like that, right? There's the crystals glowing in this because they're being affected by the past. A lot of fighting. They're all defeated, unfortunately, and Galaxia is just like, you think you can bring them back? Ha 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 ha. Yeah, right. Some, because like she's literally saying to Sailor Moon, it's just you and me. No one's coming back. Not this time. I have their starseeds. Here's Cosmos. The beautiful Sailor Cosmos. Who, pretty sure, is the ultimate form of Sailor Moon. And it is actually who Chibi is. Makes a lot of sense. And this is, so their main battle is at the Galaxy Cauldron, where everything is created. Just gonna, that's, makes a lot of sense. that you have this one spot in the universe, right, or in the galaxy, where all things are created, all the star seeds and the planets and all that. It's coming from this one spot. It's even the evil, even the darkness, you know, because like you can have peace that we see in the future, but there's also, you know, going to be darkness that comes. And what's interesting is that chaos was kind of like the big puppet master, right? That even bigger than Galaxia, who is just like, I will always exist. I'm Queen Beryl and Metalia. I'm, you know, Prince Diamond and Wise Men, or what was this? The Death Phantom. I'm, you know, Dr. Tomo and the Witches Five and shoot, what was the guy's name? But, you know, I'm so and so and so and so and so and so, and go on down the line of every villain that they fought. You know, that's who he is. Like he's just, I'm in a different form. Like, you can't truly defeat me. It's interesting to see, you know, Sailor Moon is saying that she has to take on the role of Sailor Saturn right here. But in reality, oh gosh, I feel like she's never going to take on the role of Sailor Saturn. If you think about it, she is the guardian of rebirth. Like, the rebirth comes through her. You know, she can heal and bring back everybody. Like, no matter what, in my opinion. Here we go. Here is the... I want to do this part really fast because this is about Cosmos. I think it's important because here I'm going to point out some things why I think she is a future version of Sailor Moon. Because Kyo says he's always going to exist, so he's obviously going to come back at some point in the future, right? That makes sense, and cause havoc and problems like he's doing now in the future, because he's going to come back. It makes sense. Alright, ready? Chibi Chibi, I will not give up. Because it's just as everyone's always been telling me, that hope and the future await at the end of the war. At the end of war, I'm going to make it happen, a future with everybody. Okay, so that's what I just read. Oops. So don't you abandon hope or the future either, Kay. Have faith that our star of hope shall never be extinguished. For so long as that star shines brightly, we'll all be alright. Well, yeah. Because we won't lose. Yeah. And it ends with her saying chibi chibi. So she's talking about the future, and that's why chibi chibi transforms, and she's talking about hope and having hope that we're all going to be together again, that the future will be bright, and that's why chibi chibi turns into Cosmos. That's one of the reasons why I think, because that she is a form of Sailor Moon. We'll keep going. That's right. We won't lose, for we are all Sailor Guardians. Sailor Moon, Mother Cauldron shall be your graveside. Here comes the birth of chaos, the universe is most powerful heavenly body. Queen Medellina, Chaos, Death Phantom, Pharaoh 90, that's it, Nihilania, and Galaxia. I finally understand now why all of you sought out my power for yourselves. So that Chaos is the big bad. It is for the exact same reason I used to seek out loved ones and beloved comrades. We're all each of us lonely heavenly bodies. That is why we pursue each other, because we want to be together. Together as one, that is where it all begins for us. And that is why I now also seek you. I shall embrace you inside this cauldron in order to save everything. So this is Sailor Moon getting the courage to destroy chaos, which is a big thing for Cosmos, Sailor Cosmos. You know, that's why she came to the past. So you get the other guardians coming in, because Chibiusa and her guardians are back. Okay. All those Sailor crystals that got scattered into the cauldron have regained their original forms and are heading back to their heavenly bodies. Chibi. They're all still starseeds newly born from the cauldron, but by the time they reach their respective homes, they'll have matured back into their original forms. So she knows a lot about this, because maybe she's lived a version of this somehow. We don't know. She's the mysterious guardian in a way. Okay. So she's gonna go here. Here we go. I'm gonna let's look at this page. I'm gonna kind of skip, just because. Right here it says Sailor Moon's future ultimate form, question mark. She's like, I'm Sailor Cosmos. She looks so much like Sailor Moon though. Look at her. Look at the design of her. She's got the little buns and then pigtails, right? She's got the same face. Some people will be like, but that's how Naoko draws. Sorry. I'm a dumb bitch. On my leg, I had to scratch it. But there's a big distinction between the girls' faces. I feel like she looks so much like Sailor Moon. Like, this face to me, Sailor Moon, like, boom, that's her. And I know that they're putting a question mark. Ready? I'm just a plain old coward who abandoned everything and fled the place I ought to be at. I will likely never surpass Eternal Sailor Moon's final burst of courage and power. Both your princess and the other guardians have all been regenerated thanks to the Lambada power. She'll likely eventually get carried forth by that cascade of light and safely return to the 30th century. This is the galaxy cauldron, where the Milky Way's heavenly bodies are born and come back to meet their end. By trying to absorb chaos, the source of all our enemies who was dwelling here, Eternal Sailor Moon melted away into the cauldron's sea of beginnings, along with chaos. It is thanks to Eternal Sailor Moon's power, that the cauldron and the Milky Way were finally able to regain their original forms. So, right here, we're obviously getting a little confusion, right? But she's like, I abandoned everything and fled here from an incredibly far distant future. So chaos comes back in the future. She's fled from it because it was just too much for her. She couldn't handle it and was scared because everybody was gone. But here we go. This is a good one. I regretted it so many times that I ended up coming here to do things over for real this time. The me of this era was also lonely. So the me, she's, look here. Look at that picture. She's hugging herself, right? The me of this era was also lonely and in pain. So just those little things. She's the ultimate form of Sailor Moon. The Mia, the Zera, you know, the way she's designed overall, to me, really points out that this is Sailor Moon. Oh, hold on. Let me find a better picture of her. This one. But this is Sailor Moon sometime in the future. Really, really far into the future. Like, past the 30th century. Clearly something has happened that has awakened her guardian powers again. And she's no longer Neo Queen Serenity, but she's this ultimate form here. How that happened, when that happens, we don't know. But she's an amazing character because she's so mysterious. And that's, I think, the beauty of what Naoko created here. And of course, we get a happy reunion. Yay! They get a happily ever after. For now. For now. And we have to, of course, end it on the marriage of Sailor Moon, from Usagi and Mamoru. Looks like they're in Crystal Tokyo. So after this battle, Crystal Tokyo is formed. They're in bed together. Ooh, they're in bed together. I like how that's totally different. Just gonna say, you don't see that stuff. And then they're married. And she's like, I feel a star seed. So apparently she's already pregnant. Hey now. And I love the final part here. I have to read it. Do you think we'll be able to keep protecting this planet together until the day we finish fulfilling our duties? Of course we will. And live on together for a long, long time. I swear it. That we'll be together forever. And I'll swear, too, to keep protecting you. There's it. I want to show you again. So pretty. So lovely. He's like in awe of who she is and her power, her beauty. And to keep protecting our precious companions as well. Mamo-chan. Even if one day we have all faded away and new Sailor Guardians, new heavenly bodies are born, Sailor Moon, you will likely be forever immortal. So even he's like acknowledging like the fact that she is this all-powerful being, that he might not truly be with her forever, you know, like she will always be there, like, but so different than when you saw in the 90s version where he breaks up with her because he thinks, oh no, she's gonna be destroyed if we're together and blah 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 blah. It's like totally different here. He's so in love with her. He's like not gonna abandon her, never leave her, never break up with her. He's always gonna be by her side for as long as he possibly can, because for him, he knows she's the more powerful one, and he acknowledges that, and he's totally cool with that, and he loves her for it, because she's, for you, are the most beautiful, shining, heavenly body of all time. Like, dang, that is a way to end the series. Just saying. And that is it for Sailor Moon, other than short stories. But I just love this manga so much. I read it so much, and I just realized I didn't show you guys the cover, sorry. Really quick. Serenity, Chibi. Cosmos. Saying on the cover, really pretty picture of the Guardians who were really not featured in this volume, but oh well. Beautiful wedding photo. Galaxia and Serenity. It's not Cosmos, the way her buns are different. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, I want to point out something really fast. Look, it's Princess Sailor Moon from the live action series. So cool. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed my reviews so far of Sailor Moon. I think I might do these two later. Actually, maybe I've already reviewed this. I don't know. If not, I'm just going to do it again in a separate video. I'm putting these aside right here so I can do that. And that's it for the main story of Sailor Moon. I hope you enjoyed it. I absolutely love it. It is my favorite series of manga of all time. I love the fact that I finally have an animated version that I can watch that follows this more closely. Makes me super happy. And this, to me, is the best version of Sailor Moon at all. Like, it is. Read it, read it, read it, read it, read it. Please. Bye, guys.